friends, this is Simone. I am going to the San Francisco Pen Show, as you might know, and I wanted to talk to you about the things that I would like to do, the things that I would like to check out. I have started to take some notes, which is different than other years, in my actual notebook that I'm going to take to the San Francisco Pen Show. This is a notebook from Paper Penguin Co., where I started to use for the San Francisco Pen Show in the first year that I went. And then I just kept going and started putting in all of the ephemera that I collected during that time. First year, I actually had people sign the notebook. Second year, I did not, but I still brought home some things that I stuck in here. So this is what that looked like. And then I just stuck the postcard announcing the dates for the San Francisco Pen Show 2024 right here, and started making a shopping list. I made it pretty. It's not really necessary. I just was in the mood to do that with stickers that I had. So I made a shopping list. I made a list where I try this, check out. Nib stuff I wanted to get done, and then I also would like to keep track of the money that I spend, and so that is going to be here. And then the rest of the notebook is for whatever I need it for: testing pens, testing inks, writing samples. And I just want to walk you through the things that I have planned to purchase for sure, the things that I would like to check out, not necessarily purchase, the nib stuff that I would love to get done at the show, and what I have already spent. So I know that I would like to go to the Tachia table to buy the ink Ume Murasaki. I really like that. I also would like to see, I don't remember how much the cleaning tools from Schon Design are, and I might not buy them in order to be able to buy something else, but it would be awesome if I could get the cleaning tools from Schon Design for all of the different pens that I have, so that the cleaning would be so much easier. I was going to look at Inky converters to see what awesome stationery stuff they have, and see if there's stuff that I can pick up that I could send away in Happy Mail. And then my friend Brandy asked me if I could get the plotter inserts, the letterpress plotter inserts. I hope they have some there. I will be going to that table the first thing on Friday, so that I can make sure I can bring those home for her. And I wrote this here because if I didn't, I probably would forget. Now, here are the things that I would love to try out. Of course, after everyone on YouTube sharing their Pelikan M1000, now I'm interested to see how that pen performs. I'm not sure that I tried it last year in 2023. I feel like I did, but I'm not 100% sure. So I want to go to the Pelikan table and try it. And I also want to make sure that when I try a pen or an ink or something, that I do it in my notebook so that I have that reference later on. I want to go to the Pilot table to specifically try out the Pilot Vanishing Point nibs in fine and extra fine. And the reason for that is simple. I have been using this and this. These two pens. This is a Platinum 3776 in extra fine, filled with platinum carbon black, so a permanent black ink to use in my planner and my creative journal. I like journaling in that creative journal with a really fine, thin black line. But I'm so over unscrewing and screw to post this pen. And I also really enjoy using a fine black line fountain pen in my planner. And so I'm considering maybe purchasing a fine or extra fine nib unit for a pilot vanishing point, or maybe adding a pilot vanishing point in fine or extra fine at some point as a planner pen. The same thing, I mean, a sailor would only have to be unscrewed. Doing this compared to this is just so much easier. So I would love to try the sailor fine and extra fine nibs as well, just to see how they compare and which one I would prefer. That is not something that I plan to pick up at the San Francisco Pen Show this summer. This is just research for maybe there is a pen that I really want, but I don't really know what use it could be for. If I know that I like writing with a fine pilot vanishing point nib, that would be then the reason to get it. You know, that's what I'm thinking about. I plan to use this as my planner pen, but I can also see that once I'm done with posting this here, the next annoying thing could be unscrewing and capping my pen with a screw cap. So I'm doing the research for when I'm super annoyed with unscrewing the cap to the next upgrade, which would then be probably a click pen. Yeah, and I have really enjoyed the Sailor Medium, this Sailor Medium Fine, the Sailor Broad nibs in the Pro Gear. And so I also tested those last year at the San Francisco Pen Show. Maybe I can show you that writing sample somewhere right here. But for some reason, I never tested the fine and the extra fine. And I would love to just do that so that I can feel the difference. Is there such a big difference that those pens would never ever work for me? Not sure. I shared a video about hand-turned pens in the beginning of August. I will link that in the cards up above and in the description box down below. That is something that I really want to do. I want to just spend time walking around the show and looking at all of the hand-turned pens, seeing what I love about them and what I don't necessarily prefer. I think in that video I talked about how some pens are more polished than others. Like this is not a hand-turned pen, but you can see how more polished this pen is than, for instance, this one. And there's basically no internal polish to this. And so that is something that I just want to look at. And I can just use this as an example. I want to look at how the caps are built, how thick the caps are. I want to look at the threads. I want to test out how the cap threads onto the pen, and not in a way that is you know, I mean, of course I am judging them, but I'm just generally interested in seeing all the differences of those pen makers, because that is something that I came to understand while I was looking at those 4 different hand-turned pens, that not every hand-turned pen is equal. There's some things that some pen makers maybe focus on more than others. And I would just love to spend the time that while I have the pens at my disposal to just go and look at all of those things. And possibly maybe if I find, I was loaned a beautiful Walltown Onslow model in the Primary Manipulation 1 blank from Carolina Pen Co. And that blank was just so stunning. So if I, by any chance, came upon a pen made from that blank by a maker that, you know, makes pens that are just extremely elaborate, is that even a word that you can use in that context? Then I would probably purchase it. But that, again, that is not something that I'm going to go in with the idea of I need to buy a hand-turned pen. My idea is, or my goal is, to look at the craftsmanship of all of those pens. I just saw that Esterbrook came out with the Back to the Land pens, and that is something that at this point of filming, I'm thinking of picking up one of those pens. And the reason for that is that I know that Esterbrook STs seal quite well. Pens that don't seal well are a pet peeve of mine, and so I know that I can trust these pens, and I would like to rehome my Franklin Christoph Sig Medium nib into that pen. And the one that I'm looking at the moment is the teal and brown one. I think it's called Lake something, because that teal color on photos looks like it's the exact color that I love. Of course, I need to look at it in person. And I also would love to know if they know that older JoWo nibs, like the one that I just showed you, will fit in there, because when I purchased my Esterbrook SD in Scarlet, I really had a problem fitting that nib onto that pen. And I'm not sure, I heard from someone else that the JoWo nib housings have changed and that the new JoWo nibs are different than older ones. And I just, while I'm there, I want to take the opportunity to ask that specific question, if that is true hearsay and what I can do about it. Because the benefit of an SD or any JoWo nib, JoWo pen holder, is that you can swap the JoWo nibs around if they have changed and they are no longer compatible among each other. Then that's definitely something that I need to keep in mind moving forward. I know that Sailor has a Penshow ink, and I would really love to look for that and see what the color is, and if that is a lovely one, I might get that. I know that Colorverse has a Penshow ink, and I'm going there for 3 days, so I think I might be able to do the challenge so that I could get the bottle. And then I remember in recent shows, the Sailor table sold the Line Friends pens for really cheap, the Sailor Progress Slims. And that goes with the F and Extra Fine nibs. If I love those, and if they have that pen, maybe, possibly, that might be a thing. And I, of course, would get the orange and yellow one, the duck, not the bear. Or maybe I should get both. No, I shouldn't. I was able to book one appointment with Kirk Spear, I completely forgot to check out to book an appointment with Custom Nib Studios, but from what I heard, those went so fast. So either I will, unfortunately my appointment is on Sunday, which makes it possibly harder to get another appointment on Sunday if for some reason Kirkspear isn't able to do everything that I would like to have done. But here's what I would like to get done. For 100% sure, let me talk about the things that I'm sure about. So as I told you before, I am so sick of screw to post this pen. I don't like using it without posting the cap. So this is a thing that happens multiple times when I'm using my creative journal, and I'm so over it. So I would like to get, and also the fine nib side here is a little bit too fine for my liking. So what I would like to have done is I would like to get a Platinum 3776 with a broad nib ground to a reverse architect, but I would like to have the reverse architect be a smooth reverse architect, if that actually works, and the fine nib on the right side to be just a little bit broader than this one. So I'm going to take this one inked and tell him exactly what I would like. I know that there, let me show you, the tipping on this doesn't look like much, so maybe that's not even possible. We will see. Or the architect is just finer, not sure. Then I want to do one more experiment, but my plan is to take this and have it made wetter, because me flossing the tines didn't really do much. So I want to know if there is a possibility to make this wetter so it flows better. And then I have heard from many of my friends on Discord that Kirk has a monoline nib grind that he does, and that is one of their favorite nibs to use in their everyday books. And I have purchased this extra fine Platinum 3776 and I like it, but I have to hold it in a specific way to make it write super smoothly. And the monoline would work in any way you hold it. The line is the exact same and it's smooth all around. So if I could get him to make a monoline grind from this nib, I think this would be the perfect planner pen for me. And so I hope that that is something that he can do for me. So these three I will take for grinding purposes. Now, I went on his website and checked out his price sheet, and if I am correct, then the two grinds would both be 60 bucks. So 120. A tuning would be 30. So if he can do all three of these things, I would already dump 150 bucks at his table for sure. If the Estes are usually around 175 or so, so let's assume it's 180. If I also decide that this is a done deal, then I'm already short 330. On Saturday, I am taking a nib tuning and nib grinding class, which basically takes up almost all day, and that costs $190. So I'm 300 plus 190, that is almost already 500. I haven't purchased the ink yet. I haven't even counted the all access pass yet. I think that was 80, so we're at 380. And then I'm also paying for ink, but let's say that's 20, so we're at 480 plus, so this plus this is 330 plus 190 is 520 plus 80 is 620. Just for one pen, 2 grinds, a tuning, the class. It sounds so little, but I think it will be awesome. So what am I going to do? I am going there. I'm going to be there for all 3 days. Friday, I have plans to hang out with my friend Amy. I have no other plans but just hang out with her. Wander the show, buy the letterpress inserts, maybe check out all of those things, testing the nibs. I also would like to know from Esterbrook if the Techo nib is supposed to write in reverse. So that's something that I can ask when I'm looking at the teal Essie. And just be there. I don't have plans to do many other things. I just want to wander around. I feel like last year I had quite some plans to do things, but I always felt like while I was wandering around in these big events, I feel like nearly headless Nick. I never really know what I'm doing. I feel really frazzled all the time. And so having an agenda always made me think like, I need to do something. I need to be somewhere. And I want to not have that feeling. And so I'm just going to see what happens if I'm floating around. I do have an agenda, but it's not one that needs to be done that specific moment. You know, I can go back at Friday night. Oh, yes, I was able to test this. Maybe I can check out the pilot table tomorrow. You know, in that sort of thing, not that I'm this, and this. So my plan is to float around with Amy and some of the friends in that friend group on Friday. I think that I'm completely fried taking 2 classes on Saturday, which on one hand, I will link the classes list and the specific class that I'm taking in the description box down below. But I think taking those 2 classes on Saturday will fry me up enough that I don't really need to do anything. Maybe I'll just wander around the show. I hope I'm going there this year just to meet with friends that I haven't seen or have never met before, and spend time with them and not having to go somewhere after. And then on Sunday, I have my nib grinding appointment with Kirk. Unfortunately, it's almost at the same time as the planner meetup, so maybe I can go there before or after and hang out with some people. And the rest is completely open. I don't have to go back until Monday. I'm driving there Thursday. I'm driving back on Monday. So I can just float for 3 days. And if I decide that on Saturday night that I don't want to float anymore, then I can totally do a plan for Sunday. If I'm noticing that I have not done any of those things on Saturday night, I might have a plan on Sunday, but I'm really trying to not do too much or not want to do too much. Remembering how frazzled it made me feel last year. There should be enough time to take breaks, go outside, see the sky. Yeah, I think that's all the things that I would like to do at the San Francisco Pen Show. And yeah, let me know how your pen show plans went, if you already went to a pen show, and how it worked out till the end. After I did the math for these things that I already have lined up, I felt a bit deflated because I mean, I saved up money and my budget isn't tiny, but I was hoping to have money left after I get back from the show. And so already knowing that this is how much money I most certainly will spend was eye-opening. Pen shows are expensive, for sure, even if you only come back with a small amount of things. So first of all, I would like to wish to be someone with an endless credit card and can just walk through the show and buy all the things that I would want to buy at that moment. And I hope that I'm able to make the right choices, because I'm not that person. I hope to be able to make the right choices for the right pens and inks. Considering the fact that after the San Francisco Pen Show in 2022, I don't remember what I came home with. I think I purchased a Pilot E95S. I have sold that one since then. I sold the Franklin Christoph pen that I purchased at that show. I sold the Twisby that I purchased at that show. The only thing that I still own that I brought home from that show is the medium gold nib that I purchased from my Palette Vanishing Point. Considering the fact that I have a track record of buying things that I then end up selling, I really want to make sure that I'm making the right choices. I brought home the, let me check. I think I put that here somewhere. Here. I brought home this pen tuned. I sold the Progress Slim that I had tuned and smoothed. I sold the E95S that I had tuned and smoothed. I purchased a Franklin Christoph again and sold that pen. I still have the Gravitas Pocket Pen. I still have the Monarch nib, but I actually sold the full-size Ultim pen that it was housed in. And so again, I sold 2 of the pen bodies that I purchased at this show. This gives me definitely a pause and makes me think. I need to really think about the purchases that I am going to make at the show. I don't want to buy something just to buy it. Yeah. So let me know how successful your lists were, how successful your plans went. If you float, how is that working for you? I would really love to know. And yeah, if you have any more comments or things I should do if you are going to the San Francisco Pen Show in August, I would love to say hi. I will have time. I'm just floating. So yeah, let's hook up. Well, that sounds weird. Let's meet, let's journal, let's find a spot to test our pens. And I will see you soon. Until then, bye.